did it last week. You did a good job. Yeah, it was really easy to see.
Oh, you did? On my back. Oh.
I was playing on my guitar, and my 9-year-old said, just and then he started helping me with lyrics, so this is pretty fun.
Just flew in. I'm gonna go down to the front row. I can't hear it. I can't hear it. Thank you.
Started organizing, first cleaning out for himself, helping neighbors, and then organizing all the voluntary groups that are there, Rubicon, the Samaritan's Purse, the Baptist organizations, the Jewish Relief Organization. We have, I think it's 8 or 9 now, 10 teams of different disaster relief humanitarian organizations in helping our most affected homeowners and business owners clean out their house and kind of restart their lives. If you have a home that needs help and you haven't gotten it yet, call Ed or find him. He's at 303-589-2727 or Ed Keane, and that's Keane at the end, at yahoo.com. He's easy to find. He's also at the town hall on, oh, sorry, Ellen. Let's get you back up. He's very findable in town, so make sure that if you need that help, you get that help. At last count, and it increases every day, I think there was almost 100 homes were underway or completed out of the 150 plus our 2 mobile parks that had received extensive damage. So a substantial portion of Lyons homes has gotten this assistance, and it's really sped up the recovery process for our most affected neighborhoods. The Housing and Human Services Working Group this morning, we had our first meeting on Friday, and the idea is to really rally all of our forces that work on housing, healthcare, food assistance, social service areas. The key stakeholders and groups working around this are the Boulder County Human Service, Housing and Human Service Units, the Lyons Community Foundation, Foothills United Way. We have our youth interventionist that works in the schools. We have Jocelyn Bankhauser, who has just been, she's anyway, I'll know Jocelyn, but dynamic community volunteer, and in her day job, she works with Boulder County Social Services. And they have agreed to free up 20 hours of Jocelyn's time a week to work specifically on helping mobilize and organize the Lyons human service needs coming out of this. So I want to thank the county. That's a huge help for us. We've been getting assistance from all kinds of parties and places. And I know that people are starting to wonder, well, we hear money's being raised for individuals and families. How do we get that, and how is that being distributed? And a lot of that's going through the Lyons Community Church, Community Foundation. But it's important to get all these other stakeholders involved in making sure that this relief is distributed in a transparent and fair way, that our neediest households are identified and brought in not only for immediate assistance, but into these longer-term social services that can help rebuild lives. This is going to be a very important group. We'll keep you posted on their progress. We also have the first Lyons Business Recovery meeting on Tuesday here. Over 100 businesses turned out. They've got some fabulous ideas from how to help our restaurants operate interim events to help our businesses. And the Lyons Business Recovery Fund has been established. This is to seek out private donations that will be used to create a revolving fund for businesses for financing that is structured according to their needs. So, for example, if they need a year or 2 to get up and running again, there will be a year or 2 grace period before any payments would be needed. Very low interest, and so we're out fundraising for that, which would complement some of the SBA and more official sources of financial support. And that, if anyone wants to contribute or send to your company, rich relatives, your alumni newspaper, all the avenues of tapping into business goodwill, they can send their support to the Lyons Business Recovery Fund at Box 150, Lyons, Colorado. We manage through Valley Bank, our community bank, and the Town of Lyons in terms of auditing and being very transparent. So that was all created this week. First off, I just want to give our Postmaster Daphne a minute so that I told her I'd do it again. Just a quick announcement, and then I'm going to turn it over to Victoria Simonson for your infrastructure update. Hi, everyone.
Hey.
Hi.
Okay, we're starting deliveries on a couple of routes, so I thought this would be important for you to know. On the route that heads up Highway 7 going out up to Allen's Park. Actually today, Red Gulch and Jasper and all that area was delivered. There's only a couple of addresses on Old St. Vrain that are not. And Fifth, of course, is not, and Eagle is not, Prospect is not. And there's an address on South St. Vrain, but everything else is being delivered on that route. And I think there's a few on County Road 69 now. Now, on Saturday, and that started today, on Saturday we're actually starting delivery going up Apple Valley and Spring Gulch up into Blue Mountain. So the only thing that we need to know is the lowest number we have in Apple Valley so far of someone living there is 702. So we need to know if anyone else is living down below there. Because I know there's 8 houses that are deliverable too, but there's more than 8 there, so that's a factor. So if you could let us know that. We're not going to be going back to Lyons until everyone comes into the town. So we'll be long until then. Now, if you want to get, instead of standing in lines at the post office, if you want to get your mail where you're living, I've got changed address cards out in the lobby, so you don't have to keep waiting in line all the time, because the lines can get pretty long, and you have a long time to wait for them. So, like I said, they're out in the lobby, you're on the counter out there, so if anyone wants to grab them, change your address. And I think that's about it. Okay? I think we're all tired.
Well, good evening. It's nice to see everyone again. And I want to thank Diane for sharing her song. She shared it with me today out in the field, and I said, why don't you just come tonight and get everybody back in a Lions mode after you're gone for a few weeks and you're living in a big city. It's nice to have a little home left, isn't it? So I want to thank everyone for again taking time out to be with us tonight, and I'm going to try to run through the infrastructure updates for you. Some of the other folks needed to take care of some other business tonight, so I'm going to try to cover for fire and XL Gas and some of the other infrastructure groups that you normally hear from. So first of all, I need to tell you that I promise one of these days when I'm with you again, I will look more professional than I have for the last few months. I told myself this morning I was going to wear a t-shirt and jeans to work today, and I would make time to get home, go to conferences, take a shower, and get back here. And I didn't get there, so sorry. And one of these days I will. You'll know things are getting better when you are getting past that extreme mode when I start coming back to work for a Thursday weekend.
You look great.
You don't care. Well, it's casual October. Actually, one of my neighbors ordered these shirts for us, and these are the new flood shirts, Colorado flood, so I think these are appropriate. I want to start probably with fires. We had some good things happening in that area, and so I want to share that with you. Get all my toes straight down here. First of all, today we had 4 fire sump pumps arrive. And if you're not familiar with those are actually pumps that will go into the river. And they will be able to hook hoses to them and give additional fire protection to neighborhoods that are near the rivers. So that is really exciting news for us. Those are going to be placed somewhere near the Black Bear Hole area, River Bend area, 1,000-gallon tanks that will be placed in the Eagle Canyon, Stover Canyon, I believe Lyons Valley Park, and then the Vesquez Steamboat area for additional fire protection for those neighborhoods. So that's a nice step towards additional fire protection and should make all of you feel better knowing that those are going to be available. I know they're setting the sump pumps tomorrow, and the tanks are on order and have been, and hopefully they'll arrive here in the next day or two as well. They can fill tenders quickly. Okay. Oh, with this $20,000. Oh, the pumps. Okay. All right. Then we have really good news. As Mayor Julie said, we turned on electricity to Main Street this week. And we are really happy to announce that we are going to be turning on electricity to the whole main island of Lyons on Saturday. Okay, there's a map kind of running around. I know that I had told you last week that I would do my best to get you a map of the different areas and when service would be brought on. And I have to tell you, we worked diligently at that today and simply ran out of time. So we have a map of how staff and workers are identifying the different neighborhoods. So what I'd like you to do is look at that map, find which neighborhood you are, and as I go through these tonight and tell you our best projections at this point, you'll know where we're referencing. They're passing around. They're all out. So look at it and pass it on. It doesn't take long. Most of you know where you live. So with that said, that tomorrow, so on Saturday morning, the fire department is going to be bringing in all sorts of assistance. I've heard they have dozens of other firefighters coming in, and we are going to light up the pink area on the maps known as Upper North. And so as you, Saturday. So as you see, it's a large portion of the community that is turned on. Now they're going to start at 9 a.m. I can't tell you exactly what time they're going to be at your house, okay? What I can tell you is they're going to start on the southeast side. They're going to start over by Kelling and move up that area, and then they'll go over to Seward and Stickney and move north, okay? There will be a firefighter to go into your home with you and make sure that your breakers are all the way off before it's turned on. And then once it's turned on, they're going to turn off the one breaker that goes to your hot water heater. That is extremely important. And they're going to put a sticker over it. Do not turn on, okay? It is really critical that you not do that, or you are going to potentially have problems with your heating element, or your water heater is going to get burned out, or you're going to blow it out of the building, or whatever might be the case. Do not turn on the electricity to your water heater, even if there's water in it. Okay? We don't want you using it. We don't want it going down the drain. So don't even just pretend it's not there. Just be happy to have electricity in other places. So that's the best I can tell you. They think they'll have everybody energized between 12 and 1. So depending on where you live in that neighborhood, it'll be a good idea of when you should get there. 9 o'clock if you're over on the eastern side, and then 10 o'clock, 11, and 12 going up the hill. Yes? Yeah. No, it's called the Upper North. I'm referring to when the disaster happened and there was the middle section of town was its own island. I'm sorry. It's called the Upper North on there. Now, if you're not there, they will not turn it on without you. But they will put this on your door, saying they've been here and you're now able to be turned on. And to contact the fire department, and they'll come up and do that for you. Okay, so if you can't be there Saturday, that's fine. This will be on your door, and go down and see them next time you're in town, and they'll accompany you out of your house. Yeah, all the breakers should be off until they get there. There's one group that's about this topic. We will have waivers for you to sign on Saturday, acknowledging that you understand that there's a risk involved with that, and that you will take responsibility for that risk. So you need to make those decisions, but it will be available to everyone on Upper North on Saturday. It's up to you as an individual property owner to talk to your insurance agent if you see fit. No, I think that really varies, and I would hate to speak on behalf of any insurance company. Okay, so that's the electric update. That's the electric for that neighborhood update. As I go through the updates for each neighborhood, I'll tell you the anticipated timeframes for the other neighborhoods. Yes. Some people are very eager to get back home and just do some basic work. Some people have home businesses that if they could just be at home with their computer and do whatever, they can operate, and they want to do that. Other people, if you're situated nicely outside of town, you may not have a need to have it on right now. We do have a large segment of Upper North that has electric heat. So for those folks, they could turn on their electricity and their heat if they wanted to and not worry about the winterizing of their home. So it's just so difficult in a large group like this that, to know what your individual circumstance is. And you guys need, to think about that and talk to people, talk to professionals, and make that decision. But what we heard you say last week is we want the electricity. So you have electricity to about 80% of town. And it has gone really well the last couple of days on Main Street. We haven't had any issues. We've had some people decide to leave it off. We have had several people who thought they had their main breaker off, and when the fire department was there, they found out they didn't. So I would encourage you to hang tight till they get to your house and let them turn it on themselves. Okay, one more person. Excuse me? I might have one in my bag. So that is kind of the main electric update. And I want to let you know that the fire department is excited, and they are going to have about 2 firemen per block. So you aren't going to have to wait long. They'll just go house to house on that block and get you turned on. Okay? Other fire. They also said to make sure that you unplug any or disconnect any generators you may have plugged in so it doesn't backfire. That's proper term. But it's very important that you don't do that. You do that because if you're not there, they will. But they shouldn't be touching your electricity either, so it's not really an issue. But turn off, unplug, disconnect generators or other sources of energy that you need. Now, I actually thought it was. Anybody know if it's been online? It's online? Where? Town of Lyons website? Is the waiver posted online? If not, I see one of my staff back there. Can we do that tomorrow? Thank you. Okay. Other infrastructure updates. Xcel Energy gave me a gas update. Excuse me. I got this note that as of this afternoon in Lyons, 46 homes with well water have been reconnected. 19 of them were not at home. They also left the door hanger and will await their call for reconnection. So if that pertains to you, that's the message they'd like to send. They still have approximately 600 gas customers who relied on city water and cannot yet be restored. Also for Xcel Energy, I have to tell you, this company is going above and beyond for our community and have basically decided that instead of repairing or just restoring lines in our community that were affected on the south half of town, they are just replacing lots and lots of lines at a huge cost. And one of the most significant that they're doing right now is across the 2nd Avenue Bridge for Temperate Road. They have brought in a boring machine that is boring through the bedrock 20 feet below the building. And they are boring 100 feet a day. And there is going to be a total of 1,000 feet that they're going to bore. So it's 10 days of boring under pure bedrock at a cost of $80,000 a day for that piece of equipment. And they're going to put in a large conduit and the gas line, and they feel confident they're never going to have to face this issue again. So they are. They also are, so that they've been doing that for 2 days. You've seen this huge piece of equipment. There's 8 days to go, and then they will be able to reconnect up for folks on in Lyons Valley Park area back to gas services. So that's out there a couple of weeks. The other thing they're doing is for redundancy, that's a term they use in utilities. They've also decided to install 1,200 feet of 2-inch line through the back, like through our emergency access out to Lyons Valley Park and out to the football field at an additional cost that they feel they want to put so that this issue ever happens with the river again, they will be able to isolate and continue to serve that neighborhood. So they are just really, really going after it hard, and they've been wonderful to work with and servicing our community very, very well. In regard to water, well, actually, I'm going to keep you waiting. CenturyLink. CenturyLink today has installed 2,800 feet of wire, fiber to Apple Valley, and it is going to go live tomorrow. Yep, I heard it. This includes service to Stone Mountain Lodge, Blue Mountain Road, Gray Mountain, and Spring Gulch. So for those of you who have been waiting for service, that will be, I've never commit, that is planned to be hot tomorrow. LVP area, the CenturyLink line was destroyed and is out about 2 weeks for them on that service. LVP, I'm sorry, Lyons Valley Park area. And when I say that, that means the entire yellow section on your map that we have listed as Lyons Valley Park area. Okay? No, Red Gulch is not part of that. It's separate. Yes, high school. I will go through that, yep. Okay, so I need you to bear with me on this part and listen for your section of town, and I'm going to do my best to give you the most accurate information that I had as of 6:15 tonight. Again, I believe last week when I said that the wastewater plant would be up and running in 2 weeks, that got interpreted that we would have wastewater in 2 weeks, and I need to apologize for that. As we work through this, and as you hear week after week, things change by the hour, sometimes by the minute, and I try to give you as much accurate information as I can without getting hopes up too high, and yet without totally squashing your hopes of getting home. What I can tell you is what I heard today. I'm going to stick to my word to have you home by the holidays. So we have good news today.
I know.
I think we'll all be home for Christmas for sure. And I'm hoping you might be home for Thanksgiving dinner.
Hey!
Okay, so here's our neighborhood updates, okay? If you when the,
I'm writing.
all right, here's what I'm going to tell you about the water line. This is really, really great news. Today we engaged in an interesting endeavor to find out if the main high-pressure transmission water line between the pump station east of town and Fifth Avenue in town was compromised. And so we literally stationed staff every 30 to 40 feet along the river and along the highway to watch as they pressurize that line, okay? You may not know, and this may be too technical for some, and I know others of you like it, but out at the pump station when we're running our pumps, that water's coming out at about 206 pounds of pressure per square inch. Well, we of course didn't want to do that. We could start some geysers in town, so they gradually filled the line and started the pressure. And we stationed people all along the river and along all the manholes and hydrants, and nothing happened.
Oh, yeah.
We started increasing the pressure, and we had a little problems between 4th and 5th Avenue, so that has yet to be with rumor work, so they isolated off 4th, and they turned the pressure up to 265 pounds per square inch, and nothing blew. For sure there was a break under that new sandbar, by the highway. If you're looking out there and you see a large black 24-inch pipe close to the road, that's Longmont's raw water line into town. Our line is 15 to 20 feet out, so it's under that new huge sandbar with all the huge rocks on it. So we really thought for sure it had been compromised, and at this point, it doesn't appear that the main transmission line up to 4th has been. Now what that means is, that's great news that we can now start looking at taking some bacterial samples and start chlorinating and start flushing out that line and testing that water. Now as soon as that water main section gets approved, then we'll start moving it through the service lines. Now they're going to have to go through the same thing. We have to flush it with high chlorination. It has to sit for a day. We have to take tests. They take 24 hours. If it comes back positive, we flush again, wait for a day. And so we're not through it yet, but it is very, very promising that main, again, upper north section of town will have, and Snow Canyon, would have water service available, I'm going to say in the next 4 to 6 weeks. The water service can't turn on until the wastewater is present, right? We don't want to turn on our water and have it go down and back up. So the wastewater systems, which Sean Dibble and Gary Berngard have been just devoting their entire lives to the last few weeks, is coming along very, very nicely as well. And they have put together a spreadsheet for us identifying each of our neighborhoods, the current condition, an interim plan, a long-term plan, and a timeline. And so what I can tell you is that for upper north side, wastewater, the collection system is good. Of course, it wasn't compromised in the flood. And our goal is to install some temporary gravity mains to route back to the wastewater plant. And so we are looking at wastewater service to the upper north side, somewhere 4 to 6 weeks. November 15th is the goal. For the water line to the upper north side again, We are going to have to cut in a new valve between 4th and 5th where there's something going on that will have to be looked at a little further. And we're going to isolate the north side for water, and we're looking at that being for, like what I just said, 4 weeks, maybe 6, depending on how the service lines flush out. Now, when we start flushing service lines, you're going to get the same talk you're reading about electric. It's going to be door to door. Someone's going to meet you there and make sure you're turning it, every faucet on and letting it run for however long, taking a sample. It's going to be laborious, but it is really critical we do it. Okay? We don't want anybody getting sick. So that's your newest time frame for water and wastewater for the upper north side. As you know, electric's due to come on Saturday for them. The gas main is prepped, ready to go, and is locked. And we talked about that last week. Every gas main, every gas service is locked to your home until you get water line. So upper north is looking pretty good. Okay. Does that explain that? Okay. 4. Start Stone Canyon. I'll work water service, they would get off this main transmission line that we just talked about. So for them, I'm saying 4 to 6 weeks as well, just to give us time for all the flushing and any of that. Now, there's a chance it could be before that, and they're so wonderful, but I want you to be able to get so many questions about how long. And this is our best estimate right now, barring no more issues popping up. Now, the wastewater for Stone Canyon is a little different. Okay? Stone Canyon is a 4-inch forced main that goes down to the Clark's lift station. There's a lift station called Clark's. A lift station near Clark's Harbor. That section, that forced main is gone in 2 places. And so we just can't hook Stone Canyon up to sewer. All right, it's not that easy. So we are looking at the interim plan being that we're going to lay a temporary sewer line above ground between Stone Canyon and the wastewater plant. We're just not even going to the lift station. We're going to take it right to the wastewater plant and be treated directly. Okay? We are telling you 4 weeks for that. Okay, so Stone Canyon, 4 weeks sewer, 4 to 6 for water. Okay? Their electricity is already on, and their gas mains are ready to go. So that's the Stone Canyon update. Lyons Valley Park area, which includes Welch Court, Lyons Valley Village, and the Markel homes. Their electric was severely compromised. And we need to do some what they call cabinet work on that side. The wires are in place now, but there needs to be some cabinet work. They hope to have that done by the end of next week. The drilling that's happening under the north side of the river that I just described, they are saying that is going to be out to about October 16th, 10 days to 2 weeks for that to finish. Because once they bore, then they still got to connect everything and test it all. The good news about the gas line on that site was that it was dry. The gas line in other areas of town was filled with water, but it is dry to Lyons Valley Park area. So once they get bored over there and connected, it'll be ready to go. In regard to water, we have to test the river crossing for the water. Now that we know the transmission line in that area is good, now they'll start testing it to each of the different neighborhoods, okay? So that one has not yet been tested, and will probably start, I don't know if it will start next week or the following week. The water guys have their schedule for that. The wastewater plant, at this point, it appears that the lift station that's over on Macano Drive is in good shape. And The wastewater folks are going to test the gravity main that crosses Second. Oh, no, I'm sorry. The gravity main that crosses Second is gone. There is no sewer connection between Lyons Valley Park and the wastewater plant. They are going to do the same thing that we're going to do for Stone Canyon, and we'll be placing a temporary line to the wastewater plants until we have more direction on the river. So that will have a temporary line as well. And that is out about 3 weeks, 2 to 4 weeks. Okay? So that's Lyons Valley Park. We have a section we're calling the West 5th Street, or 5th Avenue area. That would be walled. Oh, who said, ooh, let me hear you. Good. That area, now this does not include, and this is, it's hard to define all this stuff, just standing up here without a map, but this does not include the area that was severely impacted just south of the 5th Avenue Bridge. And you guys know who you are. And on the map, I'm talking about only the blue area in the very southwest corner. Those that are kind of built up on higher ground. Their gas line was lost in the flood because it crossed the 5th Avenue Bridge. And they are needing to get permission yet from CDOT to rehang the gas main on the east side of the bridge. And they are thinking that is going to be 4 to 6 weeks to get gas service to those upper areas. Electric, they also lost their electric pole that was behind that first house on West Evans. That was destroyed. They did make their way back there recently. They're resetting a new pole and will be stringing it and getting electricity to that area. But they can't do that. It's on a line that's connected to Eagle Canyon. And so that is out until, they're saying end of next week. So not too far out. And the water line is connected. This is a situation, like I said, between 4th and 5th Avenue. There's something going on there today. We don't know yet. As soon as we know that, that can be serviced off the 5th Avenue water line. That has a little more investigation to do it. The wastewater line, the sewer line was severely damaged down in the confluence area. What we're going to do is plug the sewer line at the base of 5th. And we will be looking at what we call vaulting and hauling. That means that we will let all of the sewage go to the lift station, and we will literally have a truck there every day to pump it out and haul it. And they'll haul it to our plant in time to be serviced. So when you hear the term vault and haul, that means it goes into a vault, we pump it, and we haul it away. And then that will be determined based on how much, we're going to tell people when we first start all this up in the next 4 weeks or so, conserve your water. Don't just be taking half-hour showers and using all the water like you used to until our sewer plant is back in action and all those bugs are eating well and all that stuff. So when you're in a situation, we have 2 neighborhoods that will have vault and haul. When you have that, we're going to ask you to cut down on your water use, because the more you use, the more frequently we haul, and we pay for that by the gallon to haul that stuff away. So they will be served by a vault and haul system for that neighborhood. They are looking at that being out 3 to 4 weeks. And so it's not too bad. Eagle Canyon. Eagle Canyon out there, are you awake? Yeah. Okay. All right. I know this is difficult, but I know people want to know this. And I will try to get this on that map. We'll try to get it on today. It's kind of your map, but with a line to each one. We'll try to get that done here, hopefully tomorrow, and get it on the internet so you can reference it again. But Eagle Canyon actually took quite a hit as well, because most of the services ran between Eagle Canyon and Planet Bluegrass, and where the river came out of over the bridge, and a lot of services were wiped out to that area. The good news for Eagle Canyon is their gas mains are ready to go when the time is right. We had to make a decision on electric to either let Longmont provide service to them and be charged through another electric provider and lots of different things, or to go ahead and set new electric poles, and we made the decision to do that. And today they set the last one. So you'll see new poles going out to Eagle Canyon, and those should be strung, if not over this weekend, which might not be Saturday's event. Early next week, there should be wire back up to Eagle Canyon, and they should be ready to be brought on here in the near future. Probably, I'd say, within the next 2 weeks, to be safe. The water situation is not good for Eagle Canyon. We are looking at water for Eagle Canyon that comes out of the sinks more than 6 weeks out. The water line up Apple Valley is still not accessible due to the river. And we are going to be, we hired an engineer this week that is going to design a temporary above ground system that will go from the million-gallon tank at the top of Apple Valley and down and back up to Eagle Canyon and into town. That system is high pressure, above ground, and we have to insulate it and all sorts of things. So that one is a little further out, and then it will have to be replaced with a permanent line once we know the situation with the river. Now, we've been waiting for the river talk to decide what's going to happen. Is the river staying where it's at? Is it going to be put back? I went to a meeting again today, and unfortunately, our friends from the NRCS are on furlough, and they're the ones that we thought would be potentially paying for the river to be put back, and it doesn't sound like you're going to have answers on that anytime soon. So instead, what I can tell you is that the permit that was submitted to rechannel the river back to its pre-flood channel was submitted, and we are awaiting a response, but it does appear that it looks like most likely it's going to go through to put it back, okay? We're being told we should know about that early next week, Monday. Is the goal to hear about that. Now, that's just going to give permission to do it. There's still no funding to do it. Engineers are saying we're talking tens of millions of dollars to put the river back. And we were told today that there's 1.65 million that will be distributed through what's called the Colorado Water Conservancy Board for engineering and technical assistance, of which we put our name in that hat to say we need help with that technical assistance and the financing of that. So I think we will get help with that. But at this point, there is not a firm financial solution to putting the river back. Yes.
Looks like they've done a channel underneath 36.
I do not know what that is. What I can tell you is that the ditch systems and the diversion structures that are ag-based, that are used for agricultural use, do have what's called a nationwide permit, and they are able, because of their use, to work in the river now. They don't have to wait for this other permitting process. So you'll see activity down by what's called the supply ditch, the hybrid ditch in town. There's work being done, and they have permission to do that because agriculture is counting on that water being diverted from the river to water for winter crops. The biggest concern we have, and I don't know if you've thought this far ahead, is that if we don't get this river back where it was, we're going to be facing spring runoff in April. We're going to have a repeat of this flood. So it is critical that we all are looking for ways and lobbying to our representatives and the federal government that this river needs to get put back sooner than later. We do not want to face all that water coming down the new channel in April. All right? So as we find out news about that, maybe we can put something on our website if you guys want to write individual letters or whatever the case may be. But it does sound like we're going to get the permit to do it, but we don't dare start doing it because there's probably no big, large funding source to pay for it. Now, the Army Corps of Engineers started crawling all around Lyons in the last 2 days, which is a good sign. And they have a strong interest in helping us with that situation when it gets approved. But the town officials and staff are moving very slowly, so we're not spending money that's not reimbursable or that we can't afford in the end. So that's a piece that is still a big question mark for us, and it does affect Apple Valley, it affects Eagle Canyon, it affects Planet Bluegrass, therefore affects all of us, that we have some issues with where to put the permanent line out there until we know what's happening there. So we have decided to go ahead and do the temporary line. We're going to claim it under FEMA as emergency protective measures. And we're going to go ahead and get that temporary line put in for this winter and hope that a decision is made over the winter so we can start the permanent line before spring runoff. Okay? That's kind of a, yes?
I was wondering, is there any thought about what's going to happen between Park Street and between 4th Street and 5th Street?
Yes, I have 2 neighborhoods to go. Okay? I've got to work on the rivers. We have 2 other areas we need to talk about. One is, sewer for Eagle Canyon. I didn't get to that. Sewer on Eagle Canyon. Again, we're looking at a temporary measure. There's not a permanent fix at this point until the river is decided. We're looking at either a temporary forced main that will literally be attached to the bridge, and we'll go across Planet Bluegrass, or we will vault and haul. Those are our 2 methods for wastewater service to the Eagle Canyon area, and it's looking like that is out near the 2nd to 3rd week of November. The confluence area, which of course we all know is the hardest hit in our community, is again facing some really above the distress that people have in other individual situations. The public infrastructure down there is just destroyed. And it is not looking like a very easy fix. And we do have, on the gas lines, I do know that Excel said if people make the decision that they're going to stay, they are going to serve. So we are ready and prepared to do that when the time comes. Of course, nobody can put in any utilities until, again, the roads are there and we can identify public rights of way and locate where to put those in the best situation. But the gas line is ready north of Evans. And they are still doing main testing and repairs south of Evans. They say that when the time comes and that decision is made, gas can be restored to that area in 2 weeks. Electricity to that area. Again, the decision to be made needs to be made who is going to choose to rebuild and not. And we probably will have to do some redesigning of that neighborhood and what is the most efficient and best way to place all of the utilities there, including electric. The water situation, it will be distributed It will be available within the next 6 weeks, they think, but it will be distributed by individual household. So what they're saying there is that we're not going to run a service line at every lot. Okay, they're going to evaluate it as decisions are made by individual homeowners and FEMA on whether or not they'll be building, and lines will be put in individually, house by house. And the same as for the wastewater, the gravity main at 2nd and Park is out, it's no longer there. The main under the river did remain intact, and a house-by-house assessment will be required. There is lots and lots of inflow and infiltration into the wastewater system in that whole section, which means there are cracks and breaks and joints that are loose and places that it's just out. And so again, that whole system will have to be rebuilt in that area. For time estimates for those folks, we didn't really get specific times from people, it was more of a to be determined. But my guess is, just for your plan's sake, I would say that you should plan to not have those services through the winter. And I'm just saying that very honestly. I hate to tell you that, but until we know who's rebuilding when, we need to look up the streets, and then we'll look up the utilities. And we can look at it house by house. I can tell you that all of our utilities are willing and able to bring utilities to each household, but we'll deal with that one-on-one. Okay? So we're going to get the main sections of town up, get to the majority of people, get people situated back home, and then we're going to work one-on-one with every household down on that confluence area to decide what's best for them and for the community as a whole. Okay? And then there's what they call the North River section. Now that's the section that still is called Park and Evans, but they're on the north side of the river. Okay? Can you picture that? You have your blue on your map. Yeah, the blue on your map. The gas line, I think I said that, is ready north of Evans. We're still testing mains and doing repairs south of Evans, and that can be ready in 2 weeks. Electric service, again, in that section of the community, that's going to be a house-by-house assessment. It seems that it can be available to some houses along those blocks, but not all of them. So I would say that looks like it's probably out of 4 weeks, maybe 4 weeks for electric, if at all. Some people may choose not to. Water service. We have resumed, if you recall, we were planning to rebuild one street this summer. You can picture it in your head from the highway west over to Thomas's house. We're still going to do that. So while the road is gone, we're going to replace the entire water and sewer lines there, they're putting in the gas lines, and they'll have a whole new service and new streets. And we plan to continue that installation, and it looks like Park Street will be reconstructed and up and ready to go in 4 to 6 weeks. So I think that's all of most of the neighborhoods. If I missed you and you have a question, I think we're just going to find me. Wastewater for the upper, the north of the river. We are going to install a temporary bypass while the park is being reconstructed, but once it's reconstructed, it will be connected up permanently. So 4 to 6 on that. Yes.
Electrical service of West Main. Highway Bridge.
I didn't mention, let me point out, they're included in what we're calling that little area that's called River North. There's quite a bit of damage right there where the river came up. So electric service to them. Sandy, do we have anything? I'm going to say Trustee Zanta. You may not know, she's our liaison to our Utilities and Engineering Board. This woman has been here every day day with me. Attends every day at 4 o'clock. I don't think she's missed one in 21 days to meet with me and the gas people and the wastewater people and a lot of people and trying to piece together back this puzzle. And Sandy is an electrical engineer herself, so she's wondering what goes on here. What's the address on Main? 517. Are you north of the trailer court or south? So that's out for electric. It said to be determined house by house, but I know they're resetting poles out there. You know what, if you want to leave your name and number, I will ask tomorrow specifically for you because I don't know that offhand. But if you want to do that, you can leave it with trusted minutes and we'll find out for you tomorrow. Okay? I just want to reassure all of you, we are not dragging our feet. We are trying to do this in an organized, safe manner, and we are going to get you home just as soon as we can, okay? And I just want to thank you for your patience while we work through these issues. I did want to, I have one more thing and then I'll get out of here. I'm already past some time, I'm sure. The what? Okay. Let me get to these and then I'll sit and answer your questions. In regards to the debris management the mayor mentioned, that is going to be starting tomorrow. And they're going to start in the 4th Avenue Park, Evans and Prospect area, as well as over on 2nd and Park to clear out that area of debris so we can make people in and out so we can start flushing water mains. They are asking me to tell you, please avoid parking your cars on these roads over the next couple of weeks to better facilitate debris removal. They are going to continue debris removal through October 18th, and then they'll make another sweep through town. Because I've had people say, what happens if I'm not home or I didn't get to it yet? They'll come back again. We just want to get the majority of those large piles of debris that are starting to smell and be moldy and health and environmental issues. So they will be out working diligently. They're going to take all that material over to the Meadow Park parking lot, and there it will be trucked out. So we don't want you to take it to Meadow Park, we just want you to put it on the right of way, all right? Your big debris, your household debris. If you can sort out hazardous waste or chemicals on the side, that's wonderful, that would be helpful, so then staff don't have to do out of the big pile. But it will be starting, they are going to work over the weekend. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, they hope to get the majority of the large piles throughout that area. I was also asked to tell you if you're having your electric service powered up, they request that you have an ABC fire-rated fire extinguisher in your home in case of any issues. And and if your breaker trips after they have been there and set them all, please do not continue to try to reset it. Instead, leave it and call for an electrician and the fire department to come back. Okay, so we'll continue to make that happen. And then we have a couple more questions. Laverne has a question. Laverne asked me to explain again about water heaters. I think some folks were confused by a couple of different messages sent out by our inspector and what we were telling you. We want you to empty your water heaters. We want you to winterize your homes. Most of the places we're talking 4 to 6 weeks for water, right? So we want you to do that. We don't want you to empty your water heaters down any drain in your house. Okay? We want you to either run a hose or a tube into a bucket or outside or whatever it takes. You know, give the plant a drink. Don't run it down the drain. Now I know that we had a couple neighborhoods this week that sewage backed up. We had sewage backed up at the Clark's lift station near Clark's, I'm sorry. And we had sewage backed up at the fire department. Now that means people aren't following the rules. So we need you not to be putting anything down any drains in your home. I know it's hard, sometimes you forget, but don't. If it helps you, I've seen lots of people are putting like a piece of saran wrap or a piece of red tape over every drain in your house. Do whatever you need to remind yourself not to use that drain, okay? I don't think it's very fair to the fire department, who's been working really hard, to have sewage coming up in their showers and in their drains outside. It's going to go downhill, and it's going to come up in the lowest spot. So please, please, it's not only do not flush, it's do not pour anything down any drains. Okay? Mr. Dibble here, who's working, you're working 12-hour days, 7 days a week. He has to stop trying to connect up the wastewater plants to the town collection system to go and clean out a manhole. We don't want that to happen. We need him down at that plant connecting up the big collection lines. So please do not flush or pour anything down drains. But do empty your water heater. Yes. You know what, we're going to try to get that on the website. That was a meeting like this afternoon. I haven't been back at my desk, but let's see what we can find. Actually, I'd like to wait till Monday and find out if we got a permit, and maybe there will be some good news along with that, someone who's going to step up. But if not, we will put up names and numbers and addresses of people you can contact to request the river rechanneling to be financed. Yes? We have to remember that Boulder County is in a similar situation. It's my understanding that they have over $150 million of this road and bridge work to do. They have already kind of told us that we aren't going to be able to help much. My understanding is they're willing to help us with this emergency, type situation and life and safety issues. But when it comes to some of the more permanent projects, it's going to have to be the state or the federal government. Yes? Oh, there's a microphone being passed around now.
To clarify, is the town concerned with the rechanneling of the river within city limits or out valley, or how far are you working to rechanneling?
Rechannelization, there is the permit included engineering of the entire St. Raymond Creek. And so it has to be not only what's in the town limits, but what's north of us as well. Specifically, the Apple Valley section needs to be rechanneled so we can get to our water lines. So no, we're looking at the entire area. Yes. Please pass out the microphone.
What are we doing about getting better access in the Lyons Valley Park? I'm not sure our temporary thing's going to be very passable.
We're going to use that for now, as long as, and my request to the public has been, you're welcome to use it as long as the big equipment's not there working, and if it is, just drive around. I was talking today with our Boulder County Office of Emergency Management, and they seem to think that we can request a temporary road over McConnell as an emergency measure if we see fit. So we may start working on that right away and see if we can get another access there. But we can always improve that too. That road was put in a day, and maybe there's ways we can continue to improve that.
Are you speaking of the 2nd Avenue Road?
She was referring to the 2nd Avenue road. Oh, you were referring to 69. You can now use the 2nd Avenue temporary road as well, as long as that large boring machine is not right there blocking it. If it is unblocked, you can use that. I ask you to please drive slowly, please be respectful of workers in the area, and make sure only one car at a time is passing on it. So you can use that now. Over here.
I would like to put in a gentle plea for my neighbors who are using my backyard for a temporary because the area west of Fifth on Evans, there's no road there. And all those people are isolated. Yesterday they asked me if they could bring large equipment from my yard, and I had to say no, in the interest of preserving my sewer and water lines. So I didn't know if you were aware of the fact that those people are isolated, and without the highway running through my backyard, they would not be able to access their homes.
I know that we had some guys go and take a look at what it would take to build that up a little bit to get past that. So we can add that to our list and try to address it the next few days. You're welcome.
I just want to know if there's any information or where can we get information on the highway between Town of LifeBridge going up to Lyons.
I can tell you that the state is working, and the National Guard on that, is working both directions to try to get that road connected. They're working diligently. There is on the CDOT's webpage road updates, and the last I heard, the goal is to have that reopened by December 1st, and the pace they were working, it could be sooner. So that's what I know, but there is a site that you can go to that lists all of the roads and bridges that are out in their progress. It's a CDOT website. What trip? Oh, COTRIP, ColoradoTrip.org. Thank you. I know this man in the hat has been, I'm going to let you go while you go ahead. Rivers North Water. It says the same as Upper North, which is a good time. CIP is resuming. Oh, that's the, we're working on that as a capital improvement project, and water should be forward in 6 weeks. Where's Joseph with the microphone?
I was wondering if the city has considered self-contained portable trailers with showers, outdoor showers in them, as a temporary measure for residents. FEMA is interested and actually thinks this is a good idea as a temporary measure, and they're looking for the Town of Lyons to actually make the request. So I wonder if anyone has considered it as a measure for residents.
I can tell you that FEMA hasn't, I don't have my kickoff meeting with FEMA until next Monday, so I have not had a direct route to them yet. So I don't know who your source is, but we don't have a FEMA contact yet. And the mayor said she has something more to add to that.
Yeah, I met with Boulder County Housing and Human Service Director Frank Alexander yesterday and today. Really looking at some of these short-term housing solutions and medium-term housing solutions beyond, wait a couple months for our displaced populations that don't have homes to go to. And they are prioritizing that and looking at, there are obvious issues with the trailers. Actually, we have to go on to ready-to-go sites, I found out today. So they're aware of the issue, and that's top on our list to see what options are. So if you can find me out, if you've got a specific FEMA contact, but we definitely start talking about that.
I just have one quick comment, and I just want to acknowledge how much work that all of you on city have done.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Hey, I want to hit a few hot topics that I'm sure you might be interested in, and then a few ones that are totally off tangent, but you should know about just as it pertains to your property. So, roadblocks for coming into the town, all right? As you might know right now, National Guard is currently there. They will be there through the 6th, which is Sunday, okay? From the 6th on until approximately the 13th, we're going to have a deputy stationed at the roadblock from that point forward. Okay? After that, we're going to reassess, but most likely that roadblock will go away. Okay? We are still going to have a high presence, higher than normal presence in the town itself. Okay? But this is where we're counting as you, the town, the community, the family of Lyons, to come together. And actually, as Diane said, we'll take care of our own. That's what we need you guys to do. So we're going to stop at people who we don't recognize. We're going to stop at your houses and say hi. And we might be rude. If I don't recognize you, sorry. I'm going to say, hey, can I see your ID or something? Just to make sure you are there and you're supposed to be doing something before you're a contractor. But as a homeowner and so forth, if you see somebody who you do not recognize, please call the sheriff's office. Call the 303-441-4444, non-emergency, or just dial 911. Tell them what's happening, and we'll go over there and say hi to whoever's there, and we'll figure it out. Okay? It's upon all of us to make sure we're secure as we can. All right? So please do that. EPA, real quick, and I don't know if the mayor prefers to touch on that. You're going to see the EPA in the riverbeds for this whole next week at least, taking out hazardous materials, vehicles, propane tanks, and so forth. Kevin arranged that this stuff is going to be actually dropped off at the water treatment plant, the old one to the east out of town. So you'll see your car, well, hopefully you won't, but you might. You're going to see your cars, your whatever's parked there, okay? They're going to be dumped there, propane tanks and so forth. You're going to work with insurance agents on getting all that coverage and so forth. However, if it's a vehicle especially, if you do notice it there, take care of it and get it out of there. However, also just let a deputy know what happened, what vehicle, the license plate. We're going to have it registered already. EPA is going to give us that information. But we just want to cross everything, make sure everything's good, and then you guys get rid of it. We'd like to do it this way. The EPA is going to be there for about a week or so. They're going to be out of town. We'll give you guys another week or so just to figure it out, make arrangements, and at least get the stuff out of there. Anything else, then we're going to have to take care of it a different way. Now, those are the main topics. Any quick questions I can help you out with? Yes, yeah. Her question was, is there going to be adequate night coverage for the town of Lyons? The answer is yes. We're going to be fed up, okay? We're not just going to have one deputy there the whole time. We'll try to have 2 or as many as we can. If it's a quiet night, we're going to funnel people from different districts into the town of Lyons and just ride around.
I wanted to echo just a little bit more on that question. The concern that I have is it's all well and good during the daytime if we see something that is unusual or unexpected or something that's suspicious, we can certainly call you. But at nighttime, we are an unoccupied town. Most of the town is still uninhabitable at that point, certainly after the 16th. And 1 or 2 patrol cars going around the town are not going to really cover a whole lot of ground or see a whole lot of what's going on. And there will be nobody there that can simply say, oh, I see something suspicious, because no one will be there. And so that's been a concern of mine. I asked Sergeant Parker about that, and at the time, he really couldn't give an answer because he didn't know. There wasn't enough information. But with that question in mind, is that something that can go forward to maybe keeping security on the road a little longer?
Here's the problem is we have so many different isolated islands, okay? And we want to phone as many deputies as we can. But being realistic, I can't have 6 deputies doing 24/7 on each island all the time. So we're going to try to beef it up as much as we can. We're going to do our best. And that's all I can say for right now. And we're going to reassess it. Maybe there's something else we can come up with. Maybe it's going to be video cameras that we can have monitored at the station or at dispatch or something. Who knows? But we're going to have to assess that as well as we can. But I don't have a good answer.
Fortunately,
Correct. Sorry. Good point. We're still going to have the curfew up as well, folks. So we have deputies running around. If people do see something, if people are out and about after the curfew, we'll go as we can. Sure.
Fortunately, our isolated town makes the bad guys think twice about them being motivated to get in and get out of there. But can you tell us, have you seen any other issues with other towns with regard to where bad guys getting into houses? Have you seen any of both?
You know, I'm a little biased because it's Lyons. There's nothing like Lyons. I mean, there's tragic all over Sunset, going up James Canyon, but it's different, okay? So I don't have anything to rate it off of, but no, we had tragedy there, but we haven't had any criminal issues and so forth. We've had 2 minor incidences right now, but that's it, and we'd like to keep it at that, but no, you can't compare it.
Nick, can you explain, I don't understand, if, it would seem to me that it makes more sense to keep the roadblock where we have just a couple of deputies. Staff people on these very isolated islands in town. Can you help me understand why that roadblock is going away?
It's a man, or I should say, man and woman intensive position for the sheriff's office. We don't have, it's going to be, I can see your number aspect on that. If, let's say, I have 2 deputies in town, keeping 1 at a roadblock, okay? But one, it's easy to get around the roadblock. You can walk into town, okay? So I want something that's mobile and fluid so people can hopefully be seen and doing it that way. I can see the static numbers that you're talking about, but it's really better that we're out and about. And as far as personnel, we don't have an infinite number of people in the sheriff's office to do that. If we could, that would be the best. And I wish we could keep National Guard forever. That'd be a beautiful thing. That's not going to happen.
If we had citizens,
No, I'm not even going to go there. Anyone else?
So we have a couple other 5-minute presentations, right, that are important. Our hardest hit neighborhoods, hardest for us, very hard here tonight, that we have, we've all been affected differently, we know that, but the reality that we're all going to be getting services at different times is hard, because we're all in one community. So one question that I've gotten often from the neighbors and friends now in the Confluence area that was the hardest hit is, we have a lot of questions about what we're going to be allowed to do. And that really goes beyond what the Town of Lyons can answer. So I had asked this group of highly affected Lyons folks to have a FEMA representative, Ron Landsberg, who is a floodplain and national flood insurance policy specialist here tonight. He's been based at the Twin Peaks Mall, so he's a specialist in these kinds of questions. He has already met with a number of you, and he's kind of gathered some of the frequently asked questions. I just wanted to give him 5 minutes, Ron, and then also you can see his face. Look for him at the center at the Twin Peaks Mall, and you can get your specific questions, but he has some general, frequently asked questions that you can address tonight.
I had a chance to go through your community yesterday. It's not a normal thing that we get to do on the insurance side. But I met a couple of adjusters out there that had some questions and gave me a chance to see what really happened. And I am honestly blown away, especially by that new channel we have on the other side of the water treatment. I swear that thing is about the width of the road, about something deep. And it's amazing the damage that did occur. Speaking of damage, and before I forget, I have a few more FEMA people here tonight with us. If you have questions, individual assistance is here. PA, or what we call public assistance, is here, and that's part of the infrastructure the mayor talked about, or the town council talked about her upcoming kickoff meeting. Representatives of the VAL organizations, which is volunteer groups, if you have questions or need for some of that. IGA is here, that's the intergovernmental group, and DSA, if they are here, and they can look up your files if you have questions on your FEMA registration. The other thing I want to bring up, and I'm going to make this real short because the conversation got to the river and what you're going to do with the river. And that's going to impact not only what happens in the community, it's going to impact a lot of citizens and whether or not their home can be rebuilt where it is. Inside of your flood flood insurance policy, there's a coverage there called increased cost of compliance. And I've been getting questions on that. Increased cost of compliance comes into play if your home is determined to be more than 50% damaged or has to be repaired at a cost of more than 50% of the market value prior to the loss. Inside the policy is up to $30,000 to help you mitigate. One of the mitigation measures is elevation. You have to elevate above the base, to the base flood elevation for the minimum requirement in Iowa, Colorado has a 1 foot freeboard on top of that. So if you have a 3 foot base flood elevation in your neighborhood, you'd probably elevate to 4 feet. But without knowing where the river channels will be, that will hold up everybody's construction projects if you qualify for that. So I just want to tell you up front that that could slow up things. Combine, talk to people, we'll go through it and everything. But we can't do anything, and you think we can't allow you to build. We won't adjust the claims on that until everybody knows where we can put ourselves back. One other thing, there will be people from FEMA out in the next week or two doing substantial damage estimates. What that amounts to is they will look at all the homes damaged and use the software program and make that determination with the community of what that 50% factor is. And whatever basis you use, that's again the community's decision as what they will make as the baseline for the fair market value. And I'm losing my voice anyway. But that's going on, so don't be surprised when you see all of that going on in the community. Anybody with questions on insurance, and I don't care if it isn't flood insurance, you can see me afterwards, or I really prefer if you come down, we can sit down and spend all the time we can at the Twin Peaks BRC.
How much longer will you say?
I was told to expect 2 months. So, that's my word. Okay, thank you, folks.
Okay, I also have, we have with us tonight Mark Browning, who's the chair of the Lyons Area Library District. We wanted to make just a few minutes on the library district.
The Lyons Regional Library District was formed 1 month ago today. A lot has changed since then. The flood changed the library district like it changed a lot of things. At the time it was formed, the tax measure on the ballot was the flood. It had a level of tax which was sufficient to get us started with the new library, planning the new library, start to hire architects, finalize the site decision, hire staff. Things have changed. In particular, as you've heard tonight in town, there are a lot of things in town that not going to be able to afford. Huge matters. One of the things that's in jeopardy is the library. Town funds that library slightly over $100,000 a year. That approaches 10% of the town budget. The preliminary indication we've got back from the town leaders is that they can't afford to do that anymore. One possibility of saving the Depot Library as it has existed now is to use some of the funding, tax measures, passes in November, to take over as soon as we begin the operation of the Lyons Library. We understand what tax impact at this time will have on a lot of people. For that reason, the Library District Board met last Saturday and voted to go ahead now and set the tax rate for 2014. If that measure passes at 1/2 what's on the ballot. $300,000 house under our original plans was about $140 a year in tax to the library. Now that's $70 a year in tax. And we carefully looked at the tax impact of people who've been most severely affected. Houses have been destroyed or destroyed to the point that they're not livable for a time. Boulder County, on its own initiative, has already started reappraising those houses. If you're in that situation, go to the Boulder County website and the tax appraiser's office, and online you can submit a request to have your house revalued down. We're not talking about loss of utilities for 2 or 3 months. We're talking about serious damage to the house. So before we even decided to move forward with the vote, we looked at, can we cut the tax impact mid-September, a big capital campaign to raise funds to match a $250,000 donation for the library. That has been suspended indefinitely. Both the anonymous donor and the library district board do not think that it's appropriate to try to raise that type of money now, given what's going on. And we ask that those donations we would consider making go to the Flood Relief Funds Community Foundation or the cause. We have an application pending with the LCF for a grant of our own temporary hire staff to our tax members. We've withdrawn that and asked the LCF to run that application for the Flood Relief as well. We intend to maintain the Heart of Lyons, theheartoflyons.org website. Set up our predecessor steering committee, put information on there. We're working hard with the post office and the election approach to make sure everybody gets a chance to vote, including people who are not left the area and can't pick up their mail at the post office. Very briefly, if you see this here, this is those people that are having their mail redirected out of this area, tell them they can request a ballot online, by telephone, or by email from the clerk's office, and they'll get a ballot. We are also asking in the Boulder County Clerk's Office is going to be setting up temporary voting centers in Longmont places to try to make it as easy as possible to vote for displaced people. In short, we know that we have to make changes, we've made those changes, and we hope to move forward to operate, be collaborate, and take that financial and administrative burden off the town's hands. This will delay any thoughts on the library down the road. We don't want to abandon those. The library board doesn't think the town and the community is such that we should make a decision should be made. We have let's give up our efforts in the library, let's put the effort through the library resources. We want to make lines bigger and better in the long run. That will be a long run. We're going to try to do what we can to help out the county and the library. Thank you.
Okay, 8:37, we're getting better. I have just a few announcements, and then if we've got some time for last minute questions, we'll definitely make time for that. First, the Lyons Resource Center at the Twin Peaks Mall, the disaster recovery center, as assistant center, has been doing just a fabulous job. And I want to give a shout out to our volunteers. These are Lyons folks that have been staffing those tables, giving answers, organizing information, getting contractor passes, along with Jeremy Madsen, our super intern. And from the Resource Center, I have a number of announcements. Just a reminder, if you haven't, please register with FEMA. They're still out there, and it's important that not only to you, but to our town, that we get tracked for how many people are affected by this. There are many services available at the center still. The actual amount and type of services are changing daily as certain county services go back to their kind of mainline offices, and others kind of change, and relief organizations cycle through there. The food distribution warehouse that was sponsored by Boulder County closed today. However, their volunteers prepared over 200 food boxes for Lyons residents. These boxes will be distributed to by volunteers. There are boxes in the Kahlua. It's not Kahlua. Actually, for those boxes, those were donated by Kathy Noon Family Business, who is the mayor of Centennial, and I was at the Denver Metro Mayor's Caucus yesterday morning. Got a chance to thank Kathy on behalf of the Town of Lyons. She got her family truckloads up that day, and it's helped all of us move our stuff around. And I said, everyone thinks we are a town of drunks, or like really into Kahlua. And she said, well, the other option was the breast pump box. It's okay. stuff's all the way out, just grab what you need.
And jackets. And jackets too.
And jackets. Okay. We have a lot of things coming our way. The Salvation Army, I just want to thank. They continue to give continuous snacks at their canteen outside. Both the DRC, Disaster Recovery Center, it could be small, and the Lyons Post Office, Frankfurt's been in town, so I was out by there. I just want to say, any leftover food boxes, which I doubt will be given the numbers tonight, we'll go to the community church food bank that will be open Sunday early afternoon. There is no visiting services, food services there. So some of you have received word that FEMA is requiring letters declaring there are no utilities available in the town of Lyons. That's kind of like your second monthly thing that's come up already. This letter is available at the Town of Lyons website. You can download it. I think we have paper copies out at the Trinity Center.
Yes.
Yes, thank you. And this allows you to process your rental allowance each month, so there are ways of getting that. I think that is the most important ones. Do you know anything that Jill Tucker's been organizing the center out there? Is anything that...
No, I think mainly that we have the food boxes tonight. Please take them because we have to cart them if you don't take them. And the jackets, I'm not sure who donated the jackets, but I'm not sure who donated the jackets. But there's a bunch of them that have been delivered to Lyons reruns for people in town, and the community church will have leftovers, and the DRC, the Disaster Assistance Center will have some of them there still. There's also going to still be food at the Disaster Center until it's gone, and I'm sure as time goes on there'll be more stuff that we'll try to figure out how to get out.
I just want to note that FEMA will retain a presence there. We are in discussions right now about the Lyons Resource Center, whether we transit back into Lyons somewhere. It feels good to be in town, I have to say. And the more we restore our community, even if it's just coming in and checking on your house and stopping by. So we're talking about the best way we're going to transition. Each week seems to be different, and we'll let you know on that. We're going to try and start making things happen and available in downtown Lyons. Chad. Oh, good.
We want you to come up. Oh, come on. While Chad's coming up, I do want to tell you, I've had some questions about what do I do with the sediment and debris in my yard, and does that have to be scraped up and replaced with clean fill, or can we use it? The EPA told me that if you know that if there's no obvious hazardous material in it, like gasoline and petroleum-based products, you are free to scrape it, grade it, and reseed it in your yard. So you don't have to take all that out and replace it with clean fill unless you want to. Okay? Just so I know that's a question for lots of people who have sediments in their yards. So, Chad is the doctor for Lewis, and he has an announcement about the video.
Yeah, thanks for having me up here. So just wanted to kind of formally announce what Osher Lewis has been working on for the last 20 days. We've been able to create what we call the Can-Aid Foundation, which is a 501c3. It's something that we've been talking about for a bit, but kind of put in action a little bit quicker than anticipated. So our first obvious, major movement is to raise funds and make funds available to all the people out there that need them. One thing that we really wanted to do with starting this foundation was to be able to act quickly, because we know some people, there's a lot of support systems out there, but not all of them are able to act as quickly as when you need help. So in the days since the flood, we've been able to raise just over $45,000 from people making donations. good start. You know, I know we have high expectations. So with that $45,000, we cut checks early this week to people that initially put in applications needing help. So we wrote checks for $22,500 off of the first round of applications that we got, just to act very quickly and give money to people that really needed it. So to be clear about that, you know, obviously Oscar Blues has a lot of employees that were affected as well, and the money that we raised from outside donations is going to people that are not Oscar Blues employees. Oscar Blues employees are being helped, you know, just as rapidly as some of the checks we got earlier this week, but that's coming from functions that we have going on, like $1 for every beer from our restaurants is going into that fund. We're working with distributors across the country for the month of October to put dollars per case is sold. So states across the country are recognizing what we're going through and are really contributing. So the money should be stacking up, you know, much quicker through the month of October as we're getting more infrastructure in place. But that being said, we have some applications here tonight for all of you that need it. Jason Rogers is sitting right there with Blackjack Diamond. He raised his hand. He has a stack. I have a stack as well. And we'll be available after this. Anytime that you want to get an application, they're also available at Charter, which is at 1225 Ken Pratt Boulevard here in Longmont. You can fill those out and turn them in there. And we're reviewing all of those. We have 4 to 5 people, and we're reviewing them as quick as we can to turn them around, being transparent with where the money is going, and just trying to do it as quickly as possible. Because we know some of you know, need immediate assistance, and that's what we're really looking for. Coming out of the business meeting on Tuesday, you know, we had some feedback that there are some support systems for local businesses as well. Some of them include, you know, 0% loans. But I think we all know that some of the business owners already are leveraged. There's not a lot of revenue that comes in during the slow winter time. So we've secured, earlier this week, we secured $100,000 that we're making available for grants for local businesses. So it's not a loan, it's a straight up grant that we're looking at. So with the personal relief, we're looking at kind of somewhere around $1,000, but again on a personal basis. And with the business side of things, you know, it can be up to, you know, around $10,000 is what we're kind of expecting to help get people back on their feet. And again, we're going to review each and every one of those individually. The application that we have here was intended for individuals, but you can use it for your business and just kind of fill it out. And again, some people that put an application in probably received a personal phone call from us, and we talked through some things and cut checks right away this week. So Jason has applications. I have some applications. You can go to Chuck Burger and get them, fill them in, and I guess, you know, we'll continue to give updates as we learn of them. We've focused on individuals, now we're focusing on businesses, and I think as we continue to work with everybody here on stage, we'll be looking at trying to work with our town as well. So thank you all for donating and doing what you do, and we'll be here to keep doing what we do. So can we get one more, please?
And if you have more questions, we'll take them one-on-one. I've had lots of people say, now that the stoplights are back on in Main Street, do I have to follow those? Yes, you have to follow those. We are going to try after Saturday. We're expecting a lot of people to be home while we turn on electricity. I've heard some of the cul-de-sacs are having barbecues and fun stuff like that. So we are leaving those on through the weekend, and then next week we'll go to a flashing light. But please respect those so that we all know the rules of traffic, and we don't need any accidents. So just please bear with us stoplights this weekend while you're there. And I got to tell you one story. I've seen lots of snakes and stuff that come up through the flood. But I was talking to a woman yesterday on South Park who said said she was cleaning the cupboards with Rubicon, and they opened a cabinet, and 2 brown trout came out. and so I thought that was a great story. So the trout is alive and well in the St. Creek still.
Also, I just wanted to remind everybody, we do have team representatives with us tonight at the back corner there for personal consultations, questions. I believe it was going to be a representative from SBA tonight, and I probably should have invited them up, and I'm sorry that slipped by, because I was told that the SBA can also finance house repairs, kind of, or individual loans for house construction repair. So, and that wasn't clear to me in one of the earlier presentations. So, they're okay. Okay. So, we continue to do Monday night board trustees meetings every week, so we can keep contracts flowing through. They're at 5:30. They're in the Longmont City Council chambers and live streamed on Channel 8 and the Longmont. Longmontchannel.com, www.longmontchannel.com, and available on archives there. We will have this meeting taped for where's Brian? I saw him earlier. Oh, hey, Ryan. Thank you very much. Ryan's been donating his time to get these taped and get them up on the web. There was some technical challenges the first time, and we'll get it up quicker the next time. But thank you very much for your time.
I have a cat that was rescued in Apple Valley last week. A tabby, very kind of tall cat, green eyes. You go on the Town of Lyons, or I'm Connie for the dinosaur lady. You can find me there.
Can you leave a note if you're in the Longmont area, the Small Computer, a note of the Lyons Resource Center on the wall there. There's some, that's a central in the paper. It was.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyway, thank you. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
The statement that Mr. Hannah Wise uses, I'm Jack Bell, I don't think that name is not winterization policy.
Yeah. Cleaning your water heater is not winterization. You have to blow your lines dry and treat your rain taps and everything. Victoria, I'm wondering if, as a service, since most of us are going to be out for 6 to 8 weeks, it will be free season. Does the town consider having any contractors available for neighborhood by neighborhood basis to kind of all winterization projects?
We do actually. We have 2 volunteers who have offered to blow out sprinkler systems throughout town.
But sprinkler systems are different than
households. I would love to see maybe different HOAs arrange that for their neighborhoods just to keep it orderly, or we can certainly try to come up with something as a central point at Town Hall. At this point, the town doesn't have any plans to do that on behalf of everyone.
We don't want you to do it on our behalf, but organizing a contractor who might be able to.
I can identify several contractors to do that. But it would really be helpful if there was just, like your HOA president or buildings person, and organize it by neighborhood. That would really be helpful. But that is something we can get done here in the next couple of weeks, and we should do that. I agree. Winterization is much more than just emptying your water heater. And we have been putting out guidelines on our website about how to weatherize your home. Please follow those guidelines, and you probably need to do that in the next week or so. Sure. The question was, what do you do if your home is fine but your property is eroding badly? I know that's really happening along the river and the area where the river came out of its banks. They need to first of all register with FEMA as well. They're greatly impacted by that. That's called an emergency protective measure if a structure is close, and they need to get that stabilized. They should talk to FEMA know about that and probably have some form of a structural person come by if it's getting close to roads. Or roads. You're going to see the cones in the roads are getting closer if you've noticed. The erosion is continuing and every week a little more is happening. And to just, when you're in town side, you can start seeing the respect. There's a lot of people in town and lots of people looking around. So, and maybe one of the people that can help us.
I'm going to be up at the house 9 and 12 on Saturday. This time I'll bring out the whole picture. Steakhouse. What? And steakhouse, yeah. Back tonight.
We opened up the permits for contractors, and all they have to do is notify the recovery center, go to the recovery center and say, who are they working for? We don't want people coming in and just soliciting door to door. If they say, I have a contract with you to work at the house, it's rumors. We can't recommend a specific contractor. But I think it goes to people who are licensed or already, if that's how it goes. And if you call town hall tomorrow, ask for Jack. We can get on there. But that doesn't mean we don't even know where it just means they're licensed to do work. Over to you, introduce them.
Hi, everyone. I spent the afternoon with Amy with the National Trust to show them our historical sites. And
Electricity is awfully expensive. I kept construction sites heated with
right here, you want to say?
propane or kerosene heaters. But they're not, they're supposed to be $2,000. Go down and get one of them that's safe to use inside. Some of that capacity mechanism that's been outside. So again, to me, electric space heaters are a worse fellow than turning the gas on. Oxygen, the potential danger is much higher for electric. People plug it in and it's just a bad idea. But your condition, you have electric.